Okay, so get this. President-elect Trump just chose Pam Bondi as the next Attorney General.
Pam Bondi.
Yeah.
Huh. Interesting choice.
You might be thinking Pam who?
Yeah, exactly.
But trust me, you're going to be hearing her name a lot.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
By the end of this deep dive, you'll know more about her than just about anyone.
Sounds good.
All right, so first things first.
Yeah.
Who is this Pam Bondi?
Well, she's Florida through and through.
Okay.
Born in Tampa, fourth-generation Floridian.
Wow.
And get this, her dad was even the mayor of Temple Terrace.
Oh, wow. So politics is in the blood.
Yeah, you could say that.
So did she go straight from, like, Florida sunshine to law school?
Not exactly.
Oh.
She actually started out as a prosecutor in Hillsborough County.
Interesting.
Spent 18 years trying all kinds of cases, you know?
Wow, 18 years.
Yeah, from domestic violence cases all the way up to capital murder.
That's a long time in the courtroom.
It is serious commitment to law enforcement.
You'd think that'd be enough for one career.
You would think so, right?
Yeah.
But then things take a turn.
Okay.
She starts popping up on TV.
What?
Yeah. Shows like Scarborough Country.
No way.
And even guest hosting on Fox News.
Hold on, a prosecutor turned TV personality.
It is quite a leap.
That is.
But it shows you she's comfortable in the public eye.
Perfect.
Good communicator.
Yeah.
And we all know that's key in politics.
Absolutely. And she definitely had political aspirations.
For sure.
Because in 2010, she made history by becoming Florida's first female attorney general.
Yeah, a big milestone, no doubt about it.
Absolutely.
And during her time in that role, she was involved in some major legal battles.
Oh, yeah. Like what?
Well, particularly the fight against the Affordable Care Act.
Obamacare.
Exactly.
Right. She was one of the leading voices in that lawsuit.
Yeah, trying to overturn that landmark healthcare law.
Huge.
It was a big deal. Didn't succeed in the end.
Right.
But it shows you her commitment to, conservative legal principles.
Yeah.
And her willingness to take on the federal government.
It wasn't just Obamacare, though.
Yeah, no, you're right.
She also took a strong stance against same-sex marriage.
Yeah.
Even had that heated exchange with Anderson Cooper on CNN.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
About her record on LGBTQ rights.
Yeah, definitely a controversial figure even back then.
No question.
And then came the moment that really put her on the national stage. Leading those lock her up chants at the 2016 Republican National Convention.
Oh, yeah. At Hillary Clinton?
Exactly. I remember that.
Pretty polarizing moment, to say the least.
It was.
But it also showed her unwavering loyalty to Donald Trump.
Yeah, and that loyalty goes way back.
It does.
Back to 2013. Trump's foundation donated $25,000 to a political committee supporting her re-election campaign.
That's right.
And this was right around the time her office was considering whether to join a lawsuit against Trump University.
Oh, wow.
So Trump donates to her campaign while she's deciding whether to investigate his business.
Yeah, it certainly raised some eyebrows.
I'd say so. And turns out the donation was actually illegal.
What?
Yeah, Trump's foundation wasn't supposed to make political contributions like that. He ended up paying an IRS fine for it.
Wow. Okay, so there's this controversial donation.
Yeah.
Then she leads the lock her up chants at the RNC.
Right.
And then later on, she even serves as one of Trump's defense lawyers during his first impeachment trial.
That's right.
That's a pretty tight connection.
It's undeniable.
It is.
And that's just part of the story.
Okay, so what else?
Well, after leaving her role as Attorney General, she did some lobbying work.
Lobbying.
Yeah, for Ballard Partners.
That's a different world from, prosecuting criminals.
It is.
Arguing cases in court.
Absolutely.
So who was she lobbying for?
Well, one of her clients was Qatar.
Qatar.
Yeah.
Interesting.
She registered as a foreign agent for them.
Wow.
Focusing on anti-human trafficking initiatives leading up to the World Cup.
So she's gone from courtroom to TV studio to lobbying firm.
It's quite a journey.
Representing everyone from Florida residents to foreign governments.
It is.
What does all this tell us about Pam Bondi?
Well, it suggests someone who's comfortable in different environments.
Yeah.
Someone who can advocate for a variety of interests.
That's true.
But it also raises questions about where her loyalties lie.
Right.
And how those loyalties might influence her actions as Attorney General.
And those are the questions a lot of people are asking right now.
Yeah.
President-elect Trump has made it clear he wants an Attorney General who will be loyal to him. Is Pam Bondi that person?
Well, her history certainly suggests a close bond with Trump.
Yeah.
But whether she'll prioritize that bond over the interests of justice,
Right.
that remains to be seen.
Here's where it gets really interesting.
Okay.
President-elect Trump has been very vocal about wanting to refocus the Department of Justice,
I've heard that.
claiming it's been weaponized against him.
Right.
And those statements have fueled concerns that he's looking for an attorney general who will act more like his personal lawyer.
Yeah, than an impartial defender of the law.
It's a worry.
So will Pam Bondi be the people's lawyer or President-elect Trump's lawyer?
That is the million-dollar question. It's a question a lot of people are asking themselves right now in Washington.
Yeah.
And it's not just about her relationship with Trump either. Her background as a lobbyist kind of raises some red flags for people.
We were talking about that, her work for Ballard Partners,
Exactly.
representing Qatar.
Yeah, and while her focus was on these anti-human trafficking initiatives, right, it still puts her in that world of international influence and deal-making.
Which is a far cry from, her days as a prosecutor in Florida,
Yeah.
dealing with domestic violence cases.
Totally different world.
Yeah.
And it makes you wonder how those different experiences might shape her approach to the job.
Right.
Will she be more focused on, cutting deals and navigating the political waters? Or will she prioritize, upholding the law and pursuing justice?
Yeah, that's a good point.
The big question. And it wasn't just Qatar, right?
No.
Her client list included some big names in corporate America, too.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
General Motors, Major League Baseball, even a Kuwaiti investment firm.
Right. So she was clearly comfortable advocating for a lot of different interests.
Yeah.
And that kind of experience, it can be valuable in the Attorney General's office.
I guess so.
It deals with a wide range of legal issues.
Right. But some might say it also makes her more susceptible to pressure from powerful interests.
That's true.
Whether it's corporations, foreign governments, or even President-elect Trump himself.
Yeah. That's the concern, isn't it?
Yeah.
Can she stand up to that pressure and make decisions based on, what's right?
Right.
Not what's politically expedient.
Well, we'll have to see how she handles the confirmation process.
Yeah.
The Senate hearings are going to be intense.
Oh, absolutely. The Democrats are going to grill her on everything.
I bet.
The Trump donation, her lobbying work, her record on civil rights, her views on the role of the Attorney General.
Yeah, it'll be a chance for the American people to see what she's really made of.
Exactly.
And for her to show whether she's willing to be independent or just a rubber stamp for President-elect Trump.
Because remember, the Attorney General is supposed to be the people's lawyer.
Right.
Not the president's lawyer.
Exactly. And there are some big challenges facing the Justice Department right now.
Oh, yeah. Like what?
Like the ongoing investigation into the January 6th insurrection.
Right.
Will she continue to pursue those who attacked the Capitol? Or will she try to sweep it under the rug to appease President-elect Trump and his supporters?
That's a huge question.
It is.
And her handling of that investigation, I think, will tell us a lot about her priorities.
Yeah.
And her commitment to upholding the rule of law.
And then there's a whole issue of voting rights.
Oh, yeah, that's a big one.
We've seen a lot of efforts to restrict voting access in recent years. And many are worried that a Bondi-led Justice Department might not do enough to protect the right to vote.
It's a valid concern.
Yeah.
Bondi has a history of supporting voter ID laws and other measures
that
critics say disproportionately disenfranchise minority voters.
Yeah, her actions on this issue will be closely scrutinized.
For sure.
And of course, we can't forget about potential investigations into President-elect Trump himself.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Will she be able to resist pressure from him and his allies to, drop investigations or to go after his political opponents?
That will be the ultimate test of her independence.
You will.
The American people deserve an attorney general who will uphold the law fairly and impartially.
Absolutely.
Regardless of political pressure.
So it sounds like Pam Bondi's tenure as attorney general could be a real turning point for the Justice Department.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
It could either reaffirm its role as an independent defender of the law,
right,
or it could further erode public trust in the institution.
It's a big moment.
And that's why this deep dive is so important.
Absolutely.
We need to understand who Pam Bondi is, where she comes from, what she believes in, and how those factors might influence her actions as Attorney General.
Because her decisions will have a real impact on the lives of millions of Americans.
It's a lot of power, a lot of responsibility.
It is.
A lot of potential for both good and bad.
And it all comes down to one question. Will Pam Bondi be the people's lawyer or President-elect Trump's lawyer?
Only time will tell. But what we can say for sure is this is going to be a fascinating and potentially consequential chapter
Oh, yeah.
in the history of the Justice Department.
And one that we'll be following closely here on the Deep Dive.
And we know you, our listeners, are a smart and engaged bunch.
They are.
So we want to hear from you. So what are your thoughts on all of this? What concerns do you have about Pam Bondi and her potential influence on the DOJ?
Yeah, what are your hopes for how she might use this powerful position?
It's a lot to think about.
It is.
It's striking how much the role of the Attorney General has changed over the years.
Oh, yeah.
It used to be, this apolitical position, someone focused on just upholding the law.
Right.
But lately, it's become so entangled with partisan politics.
Yeah, it really has.
And Bondi's nomination, it really highlights that shift.
It does.
Her history with President-elect Trump, her lobbying work.
Uh-huh.
It all raises questions about whether she can truly separate her personal and political leanings from her duty to the law.
It's hard to say.
It's like that $25,000 donation from Trump's foundation keeps coming back into focus.
It does.
Her office was considering joining that lawsuit against Trump University at the time, but then she chose not to.
It's suspicious.
It's hard not to see that as a potential conflict of interest.
Yeah.
Even if no wrongdoing was ever proven.
Right.
It makes you wonder if she'll be willing to hold those in power accountable.
Yeah.
Even if they're close to President-elect Trump.
That's a good question.
And it's not just about Trump either, right?
No.
Her record on voting rights and LGBTQ issues is concerning to a lot of people.
Yeah, for sure.
She supported policies that some argue make it harder for certain groups to vote.
Uh-huh.
And has been a vocal opponent of same-sex marriage.
Yeah, those are definitely red flags for people who are looking for an attorney general.
Right.
Who's going to be a champion for equal justice and civil rights.
Absolutely.
It's a real concern.
And then there's her recent work with that think tank, the America First Policy Institute.
Oh, right.
They've been pushing for a more, aggressive, some might say, partisan approach to law enforcement.
It raises the question, does Bondi believe in using the DOJ to advance a specific political agenda?
Right, and if so, whose agenda will it be?
Exactly.
That's the big unknown, right?
Yeah, but one thing's for sure.
What's that?
All eyes are going to be on her.
Oh, yeah. Every decision she makes, every case she pursues, every statement she releases, it's all going to be scrutinized.
It will be, and rightfully so.
Yeah.
The Attorney General holds immense power.
Absolutely.
And the way they use that power can have a profound impact on people's lives.
So it's not all doom and gloom.
No.
But we need to be realistic about the potential challenges.
Yeah.
And be prepared to hold her accountable.
Absolutely. We can't just sit back and hope for the best.
No.
We need to be engaged, informed, and ready to speak out if we see the Justice Department being used for the wrong reasons.
And that's where you, our listeners, come in.
That's right.
We need you to be part of this conversation.
We do.
Share your thoughts, your concerns, your hopes.
Yeah. What do you want to see from an Attorney General?
What issues are most important to you? Let your voices be heard.
Because at the end of the day, this isn't just about Pam Bondi.
Right.
It's about the future of the Justice Department.
Uh-huh.
And the rule of law in America.
Making sure that everyone is treated fairly and equally under the law.
Exactly.
That's the ideal, right?
Yeah. A justice system that truly serves all Americans.
But we can't take that for granted.
No, we have to fight for it, demand it, and hold those in power accountable.
And that's what we'll be doing here on the Deep Dive.
Absolutely.
We'll be keeping a close eye on Bondi's every move.
Analyzing her decision.
Providing you with the context you need.
To understand what's going on.
This is just the beginning of the Pam Bondi saga.
Yeah.
And it's likely to be a fascinating, frustrating, and maybe even frightening ride.
Buckle up, listeners.
So that's it for our deep dive into the world of Pam Bondi.
President-elect Trump's pick for Attorney General.
But this conversation doesn't end here.
No, keep thinking, keep questioning.
We'll keep those comments coming.
And as always, stay curious.